Today I want to talk about why I sent the A7C II back and bought the A7Cr. So one of the first reasons I sent the A7C II back and got the A7Cr was because of price. When I first bought the A7C II, I ordered the extra special grip with it, and it's extra $150. So I had the A7C II plus the grip. And then I found a used A7Cr on B&H website. So that kind of narrowed the gap between the two prices. And in my opinion, you're getting a way better camera with the A7Cr. It's like super windy out here, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and talk about that grip just a little bit right here. Now let's talk about this little grip just a little bit. This little grip is awesome, and it comes included with the A7Cr. And it's really easy to put right on your camera. You don't need a special tool. There's a little thumb grip there. You just screw it right in. And it gives you about 1 inch of extra width right in there. Get a nice firm grip on the camera. Now if you're using a bigger lens or something, it really comes in handy. And that's what I like it for. But again, I've used this camera with a 28-200 Tamron and been just fine with just a regular standard grip that comes with it. You can also get like a grip like from Small Rig or whatever, like $60 or $70 or whatnot. But I found that this one just really feels like it belongs on the camera. It's just really nice, you know. It's way overpriced, but it's like really nice, this extra grip. The only thing about this grip is if you use it with a clip, like right there, an F38 clip or like a Peak Design clip, because of the design of the extension, it makes it just a little bit weird. And what I mean by that is like when you set it down on a flat surface, your camera's gonna fall no matter what. It's just a little bit weird if you use one of these clips. It's okay, it just makes it a little bit weird just because of the design of it. It's not flat on the bottom. It kind of comes to this point here, and then you put the clip on the bottom and it's kind of uneven. But that's the only thing about it. Other than that, it's great. And then you would say, well, it's the megapixels, right? You like the 61 megapixels? Well, yes and no. Like I hardly ever use 61 full megapixels. Like the storage space you have to have for that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad it's there if I need it, but generally the 26 megapixels that you can get out of this camera is just perfect for me. And that's what I use 95% of the time. And then also I'm able to use any of my APS-C lenses that I've had and I've collected over the years. And I also get 26 megapixels with my APS-C lenses. So if I really wanted to go small and light as much as possible, I could throw in them APS-C lenses and not skip a beat. So yes, megapixels plays a big role in it, but not because it's 61 megapixels, because the 26 megapixels that you can get in raw medium and with your APS-C lenses. But the real reason I sent the A7C II back was because of video performance. Now I use these as hybrid cameras, and I wasn't happy with the A7C II video performance, especially with regards to the rolling shutter. But now we're going to get into some really deep, nerdy camera stuff. And this is kind of going into the depths of the difference between these two cameras. And I took some notes just so I could hopefully get the information as correct as possible. They both can do full frame, 4K 24 and 30, and 60 frames per second. The A7C II has a 1.5 times crop. And the A7Cr is a 1.2 times crop. And while the crop factor really doesn't make that huge of a difference when you're out shooting, it does make a little bit of difference. I mean, you can actually tell. But to me, it wasn't just a huge difference. And ultimately, that's not why I decided to return the A7C II. The reason I decided to return the A7C II was because rolling shutter. And I found that the A7C II has significantly more rolling shutter than the A7Cr. And that's because of the video specs. A7C II has 6.2K oversampled 4K footage. And because of that, there's a slower readout speed. The A7Cr uses bin method. so you don't get such a slow readout when you're using A7Cr. And I found the rolling shutter performance to be much better. On the A7C II, it seems like when you combine the rolling shutter with maybe not the best image stabilization in the world, even with active stabilization, it wasn't that great. It just made the picture just unwatchable. And you when you watch my zoo video, you'll kind of see that there when I was doing some of the video there. The rolling shutter was just an issue, and I really just didn't like it, because this is the camera I'll be taking with me on vacations and traveling and stuff like that. If I want to do any kind of a video with it, I want to clean as image as possible, and I just hate rolling shutter. Now, my A7C II versus the zoo video, I said at the end of that video that the A7R5 is the best hybrid camera that I've ever used, and that still stands true. And the A7Cr is just like a miniature version of the A7R5. So it's a perfect complement to the A7R5. Now, I will admit the A7Cr is probably the least value dollar for camera in the whole Sony's lineup. Like, to me, it's just way overpriced. I really wish they'd have given us at least one extra hardware feature to kind of separate from the A7C II. A better viewfinder would have been nice. Maybe one of those dual SD card, the SD card type A, Express A card things would have been nice. But what really would have been nice, in addition to this camera, to justify the extra price, is a better screen. I really wish it had the $3 million screen, but it doesn't. So what are you going to do? So I hope that clears up why I chose the A7Cr over the A7C II. I've been more than happy with the A7Cr. It's an awesome camera. And in the end, it made sense to me, and it's my money, and I'll shoot what I want to shoot. And this camera is awesome. So if you have any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comment sections. I'll be happy to answer anything you want. If you've liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Let me tell you another thing. As soon as I can get that Sony microphone that hooks right into your camera, and you don't have to use any wires or any cables or anything like that, I'm buying that sucker straight away. I'm so sick and tired of dealing with keeping up with all this stuff. I got 2 different bags, and I've got a receiver over here. Got to keep this thing, got to make sure it's all plugged in and charged up. I can't. And on this DJI, which is just fine, it's just fine. The clip doesn't fit in a cage, but then it's like super duper tight in your camera. So sometimes you're afraid to push it in too far on your camera and it falls out. I mean, there's just, dude, as soon as I get that Sony one, I am done. Anyway, have a good weekend.